This portrait of Marie Antoinette was taken down from the Salon of 1783. Then this one took its place. Same queen, same painter. The face, gaze, and flower-binding hands are closely repeated, but the white dress disappeared. What made it unfit for a queen in public? Why did the more covering dress cause the greater offense? And how could satin, powdered hair, and painted distance turn a fashionable woman back into the public image of a queen? Élisabeth Louise Vigée Le Brun, Marie Antoinette in a chemise dress, 1783. Marie Antoinette with a rose, the formal near double. One public image disappears, another takes its place. What you see first looks like clothing. It reaches much further. Sheriff notes that Marie Antoinette apparently admired this image. Vigée Le Brun shows her binding roses in white muslin, a broad sash and a straw hat. Fashionable, direct, almost within reach. The replacement keeps her hands and outward gaze, but rebuilds public office around them. A grey court gown, pearls, formal powdered hair, and a garden held at a distance. One woman, almost the same pose. Only one image was allowed to remain as the queen. On the 25th of August 1783, the chemise portrait entered the Salon in the Louvre. A period report says the public seemed to disapprove of a costume judged unworthy of Her Majesty. Vigée Le Brun was pressed to substitute another image. The portrait came down. On the 17th of September, the formal portrait went up in its place. Vigée Le Brun already knew how to build a public queen from court dress, columns, and ceremony. Now that grammar returned. The portrait Marie Antoinette apparently admired could not remain. Vigée Le Brun had to turn fashionable intimacy back into public office. Vigée Le Brun reached that public wall the hard way. By 1783, she was a successful fashionable portraitist and a favourite of the Queen. Yet her marriage to an art dealer barred her from the Académie Royale. Success had filled her studio without opening the institution's door. Marie Antoinette intervened. On 31st of May, the artist was admitted. The Academy Register places Adélaïde Labille-Guiard beside her on the same day. The opening was narrow. The Academy allowed no more than 4 women members at once. Less than 3 months later, Vigée Le Brun entered her first Academy Salon. She had fought to reach this room. The Queen had helped her through the door. Now a mixed public and its critics would judge the portrait Vigée Le Brun had exhibited with the Queen's apparent approval. Vigée Le Brun knew the safer grammar: columns, drapery, ceremonial dress, and the vertical bearing of rank. But the chemise portrait brought the informality Marie Antoinette apparently admired into the public room. The fashionable woman and the office of queen collided on the same canvas. That collision is the root. First the swap, then the closeness of the informal queen, the distance of the formal one, and the fact that breaks the easy modesty story. Dress, hair, distance, room, office. The sequence is short. The chemise portrait went up. Objections followed. The painting came down. A formal near double replaced it before the exhibition closed. The Correspondance littéraire said the public seemed to disapprove of a costume unworthy of Her Majesty. It reported that Vigée Le Brun was pressed to provide clothing suited to the dignity of the throne. The Mémoire Secret placed such garments inside the palace. Yet it assumed the painter had not taken this liberty without the sitter's consent. We know the objection, but not who ordered the removal. The records do not give us one unanimous crowd. The Met catalogue calls the Hessian chemise painting the Salon original. It identifies the Resnick rose portrait as the prime replacement, installed on the 17th of September. But Versailles still associates its rose version with that exhibition. The ledger remains open. One substitution, competing records for the formal canvas, and related images that cannot be silently exchanged. The swap is clear. The object trail is not. Next, the portrait they removed. The whole image is spare. Marie Antoinette stands close, filling the space from hat to skirt. No column, no throne, no crown or state drapery. The background gives almost nothing away. Her face turns outwards. You are close enough to see the bare neck and soft, unpowdered hair beneath a straw hat. Blue ribbons hang from it. A grey plume rises behind. Nothing is careless. Look at the line around the face. One arm bends towards the flowers, the other crosses beneath, and the blue ribbon continues upwards into the plume. The white dress billows. An ochre gold sash pulls it tight at the waist. At the right, her hands bind a nosegay. Roses fill a dark blue vase. No ambassador, no regalia. She is arranging flowers. Mary Sheriff reads this closeness as the painting's achievement. The Queen is near enough for imagined conversation. Hair, bare neck, and apparently simple dress create what Sheriff calls an artful naturalness. Artful is the important word. The portrait has not removed performance. Vigée Le Brun has made performance feel private. The white dress was not invented for this scandal, and the look did not fail everywhere it appeared. It belonged to a fashionable language already circulating around the Queen. Around 1782, Vigée Le Brun painted herself in a straw hat with loose hair and outdoor light. The self-portrait makes informality confident. That year, she painted the Duchesse de Polignac in white lawn, sash, and straw hat. Its neckline is lower than the Queen's chemise dress, yet Sheriff treats it as aristocratic intimacy rather than scandal. Sheriff traces the robe en chemise to English fashion and the ideal of the natural woman. Fine muslin fell over coloured underlayers and gathered at the waist. Gauze and a straw hat completed the dress. Its world was informal. Private rooms, gardens, walks, the Petit Trianon, where Marie Antoinette could appear with less court ceremony. That makes neither the Queen a peasant nor the dress cheap. Simplicity had become expensive fashion. The unstable combination was this sitter, this intimate style, and this public room, asking one portrait to stand for the throne. The style survived. The public Queen could not remain dressed this way. The replacement keeps the recognition points. Marie Antoinette still turns towards us. Her hands still gather a ribbon around roses. The face remains recognizable, and the garden preserves cultivated ease. Then Vigée Le Brun rebuilds the image around her. The soft hair becomes a formal powdered coiffure. The straw hat becomes a high arrangement of striped ribbon and pale feathers. Pearls cross the neck and wrists. The loose white muslin becomes grey satin, fitted and structured, with lace, bows, and a court neckline cut lower across the chest. Even the flowers change. In the chemise portrait, the bouquet presses against a dark table. Here, one rose rises against open air, almost an attribute. The figure sits further back. Tree, sky, foliage, and dress occupy the space around her. Sheriff argues that this distance makes the old exchange of glances harder to imagine. The Queen is present, but no longer near. The replacement does not merely add ornament, it changes the relation between sitter and audience. Powder, satin, pearls, space. Each one puts public ceremony back between the woman and the viewer. It restores the office by restoring distance. Now the turn. The simplest explanation is wrong. The chemise was judged immodest, yet covered more of Marie Antoinette's body than court dress. Beside it, you can see the formal gown opening lower across neck and chest. More skin, more decorum. Nor was the chemise a cheap peasant dress. Sheriff describes fine cotton muslin, coloured silk beneath it, gauze and a sash. Apparent simplicity cost money. Luxury looked natural. A fashion journal later placed the robe en chemise among informal wear. Outside private chambers, it belonged to parks, picnics, and small social circles. The problem was not nakedness, it was classification. The period complaint called the costume unworthy in public. Another report placed such garments inside the palace. Later, Vigée Le Brun remembered malicious people saying the queen looked as though she had appeared in her underwear. That was polemic, not the garment's actual function. The easy story says, exposed, then modest. The images say, more covered, then more royal. We have reached the public grammar of queenship. Private-looking dress and nearness exchanged for court costume, powdered hair, and distance. One image made the fashionable person visible, the other made the office visible again. A portrait removed from a public exhibition sounds like a unanimous verdict. The records do not give us one. Sheriff notes that Marie Antoinette apparently admired the portrait. 3 versions went to close women relatives, and in 1786 she called it her best likeness. The informal image rejected in one public setting lived on in intimate ones. Vigée Le Brun remembered another audience. Near the exhibition's end, an actress imitated Vigée Le Brun at work, painting the queen. According to the artist's memoir, spectators turned and applauded. A later memory is not a ballad, but it breaks the fiction of one response. Criticism, approval, private circulation. Then more image-making, because a change of dress did not settle how Marie Antoinette should appear. In 1785, Vigée Le Brun received another public commission. Completed in 1787, it places the Queen with her children as a good mother. Millam records that critics still found her wooden and unnatural. Intimacy, ceremony, maternity. None becomes a key to her political fate. The chemise did not cause the French Revolution. The swap exposes a narrower dispute. Where did the private person end and the public queen begin? There was never only one public looking. The pair again. The Hessisch chemise original. The Resnick rose portrait that the Met argues replaced it. Versailles and the later after copies remain in the record, but not in these 2 places without a label. First, the woman close to the picture plane. White muslin, bare neck, soft hair, straw hat, roses at an unplaced table. Then the public correction. Grey satin, pearls, powdered hair, high headdress, garden and sky, a queen set back. The face still identifies the same queen. The hands kept their task. Vigée Le Brun kept the recognition points and changed how the sitter could be seen. Dress altered the category. Hair altered the ceremony. Distance altered the encounter. At first, these looked like a scandalous dress beside a safer one. We can now see a private-looking woman beside rebuilt public office. A public portrait does not only preserve likeness, it decides which idea of a person may stand for power. In 1783, that face appeared in portraits for friends and relatives, before Salon critics, and for the throne. The exhibition closed. The versions scattered into palaces, foundations, museums, and private collections. The boundary they made visible remains. When a portrait represents a ruler, how much of the private person should it be allowed to show before the office disappears?